Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome. This is going to be a bit of a chat and an energy activation where we are tapping into allowing yourself to be resourced by source in whatever ways that you need, giving your humanness a break and reconnecting yourself with the source. So trusting source and trusting yourself. I'm here with the beautiful Jamie Wozny, and we're going to have a bit of a discussion because Jamie, for those who don't know, lives in the LA area, and she is very grateful that she is well and she has her home, but she had to evacuate, and she is there and has seen a lot and is a support for a lot. And so we're going to have a bit of a discussion of what this kind of has brought up and share that with you. And then after our discussion, our chat, will move into the energy activation. So I will pass it to Jamie if you want to introduce yourself. And yeah, we can just kind of flow from there.
Yeah, thanks, Rach. Hi, everybody. My name is Jamie Wozny, and I'm a healer and spiritual mentor and meditation teacher and human along the journey with all of you. And, Rachel and I were just chatting a little bit before this. I just did a post on Instagram of the 17 things thus far. I'm sure there's going to be 71 things or more that I've learned already about being in LA during this wildfire experience in the midst of it. And one of the things is that you really are taken care of. You really are resourced. And I know I had heard that word from my teacher for a long time, and it kind of made me angry because I'm like, what does that even mean? Resources are things that, and Rach, I'd love to know your thoughts on this too. Things that take care of you, provision. So it could be like food or oxygen or a helping hand or money, right? Money is in there too. And if we look to life from what we know of our mind for safety and resource, for me, at least of what I'm seeing and learning, it can kind of fall short. But what we're going to do today is really reconnect us back into source as our source. And also that to me, sometimes it's like, well, what does that mean? Do I have a like plug on my back and then like energy comes to me or like what? Um, and I see it as like, okay, we're part of a quantum field. We're all connected. And through my intuition, sometimes through thoughts, sometimes through circumstances, sometimes in ways bigger than my mind can comprehend, there is love available for me. And sometimes we don't receive it because we don't realize that. And we're plugged into like, it's just me and I'm all alone. And you guys, I lived in that for so long, right? Especially like when you're doing your business, it's like, nope, it's just me and I got to prove myself and I got to, like, I'm the one doing this thing or, all innocent. And I have seen, I'm like, the firefighters are the ones that are putting out the fire. The nurses, the rescues, the Target, right? Target, the store that's making the electrolytes or whatever it is, the healers that are showing up to hold space. Um, it's a togetherness. Like we cannot do this alone. We're doing it together. And that's I didn't have to be worthy and deserving of that. This stuff just showed up in Los Angeles and it's just an outpouring of love and support that you can't even imagine. I don't wish for you to go through this. I just wish to share the energy of like in whatever neck of the woods you're in and the experience you're in right now. You're loved. There are people you don't even know around you that will show up for you and together, and you don't have to do it all and you don't have to know it all to receive that. It's available for you.
Yeah, yes, that's so true. And beautifully said. I know, people that you don't know
Mm,
that um you've never met and you might never meet were praying for you and sending you energy. I was sending out texts like, can you please pray and send, and so people that you probably will never talk to were
Yeah.
praying for you.
Yeah. That's beautiful.
It's coming through everywhere, right? It's
Yeah.
just, and I know that we chatted a little bit before we got started from, even though it's, you still have your home and you're safe, and that's such a miracle and a blessing. There's still that concern of, okay, well, now the city shut down and we're not working and like,
Yeah.
or as much, or there's
Yeah.
that concern from a lot of people. Even if they haven't lost everything, they still have it. For a lot of people, there's a concern of, where are the resources? I want to give as much as I can to those, and I also need to be resourced myself so that I can give. And so I
That's
know
it.
that and we chatted a little bit about that. And you said that when you tuned into source,
Mm.
all of these ideas and inspiration that wouldn't have been in your mind at all, they weren't top of mind, they weren't something you would think of. They
Yeah.
started flowing to you just by coming to that space. Like, okay, I am loved. I will be resourced. I know that in the quantum field, there are many, many resources. I let my humanness, I set it aside a little bit. It doesn't have to figure everything out. Source, show me. So I don't know if
Yeah.
you want to speak to that.
Yeah. And thank you for the prayers from the group. That just touches my heart every time. Or this time and all each time people say stuff like that. It's a few things that are coming to me right now. And if anybody's in a similar experience or similar energy, even if you're not in LA, I really invite you, because this was my experience. Ask for what you need. Ask for what you need. When somebody says, I'm here, do you need something? I did it with Rachel. Um, think about it for a minute and give them permission to say no. But if somebody says, do you need anything? I've watched so many people over here too be tough. So that's source trying to resource you. That's source trying to resource you through people that say, kiddo, do you need something? So don't be shy to say, and that's again overcoming some trauma of maybe I'm not worthy and deserving of having my needs met or whatever it is. But on just a practical level, it's okay. And you'll see that just to say, what do I need right now? Um, and ask for it and just say thank you graciously, take it, because it's the amount of the meals that have been bought, my partner like carrying stuff up and down, and I mean the amount of times we've gone in and out of places the last 5 days and him carrying 10 suitcases of like stuff. The government resources, and I know too, this has really helped me too, because I can get spiritually snobby just like the rest of them. Oh my gosh, that person's not conscious enough or spiritual enough or whatever it may be, and people are talking about the government and this and that. Okay, yeah, time and place, but I am so grateful right now that there's government assistance for people that aren't working as much right now, that are in a disaster area, that do need, the air quality here is highly toxic at the moment. And I have insurance. I have renter's insurance, and they can cover air purifiers and things like that. So Jamie's personality, the personality called Jamie, isn't one that would file for government things, or I don't know. It's not like a conscious spiritual community type thing. And it's all coming in. It's like this next thing and the next thing and the next thing and the next thing. And it's like, file for this and do this. And old roommates from like it just years ago, helping me get Hobbs a way to fly on a plane, and just in case there was an emergency. So I would like you to, you can put your hand on your heart, even just right now, to open up to the activation of just saying this out loud. Could I open to the possibility that I am resourced by source? And then we're going to say out loud, it's okay to be resourced by source. And then we're going to say out loud, even if I don't know this experience. I am resourced by source, which helps us in the terror to know, even if I can't feel it, even if I can't see it, there are possibilities that may go beyond my mental understanding and my um, identity, but there's so much available. Um, yeah, I think that's what I have to say on that.
Mm. And it translates into everything. Like you said, even if you're not in this situation, that being resourced from source, that translates into anything that you're needing, that you're asking for. I remember whenever I made the shift, when I got a part of my story is I got a download that said, you need to make a choice.
Mm,
Are you going to continue to do personal Reiki sessions, or do you want to reach as many people as possible because you can't do both? Was my experience. I got that download. I was like, I want to try and reach as many people as possible. And so I had to leap before there was a net, and really didn't have any income source at that time. Very little, very, very little. Like literally just like enough to live. But I was always taken care of, right? Like I was
yes.
still, when looking back, I was always, always, always taken care of during that
Yeah.
time. So during that time, my sweet doggy got sick, and we didn't know what was wrong with him. And I had to take him to the vet and take him to the vet. And anybody with a dog or cat or an animal knows that vets are not cheap. And I remember driving him to the vet because I'm like, your priority. I'll do anything. But like at that point, like I just didn't know where the resources were going
Yeah.
to come from. And I'm praying on the way to the vet, like, please, like I need to be able to afford this. And no lie, I pull into the vet, and somebody from who followed my YouTube sent me a very significant donation.
Oh,
That was enough to pay for his vet bill, so I didn't have to worry about that. And
wow.
they didn't know, right? They didn't know. I wasn't open about what I was going through, but
Yeah.
I was resourced, and that gave me just such this sense of faith
Yeah.
that I would be
Yeah.
if I opened to it, you know?
If you open to it, that's a beautiful story. And as I'm feeling into this, it's like the guilt and the shame that says, oh, I can't take that, or oh, that's too much. Because sure, yeah, even along this, that's creeped in. My
Mhm.
mom, so generous right now, even today, because I got this again, resource. I'm in the shower. I heard you got to get to the chiropractor because we're supposed to, today's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Windsor's supposed to pick up again. And he is like, oh my God, you're like an inch from like going out. Like you need to, like, we're going to get you back in balance. I feel this deep relief in my low back. And then she's like, it will give me peace knowing if I can pay for this for you. And in my head, I'm thinking, she was a teacher. Like she's living off of her retirement. She's on a teacher's salary. And by no means am I like struggling, but like, you know, there it's different right now. And so people around here who I normally work with might not have the funds to come to an in-person class or whatever it might be. Maybe not. Anyway, just like what Rachel was saying, I had to allow God to love me through mom. I had to allow God to love me through Rachel. I had to allow God to love me through our friends who were our safe haven when we evacuated. They have more money than us. And we're like, let us pay you. Let us take you out to dinner. Let us pay for this. Don't, you know? So yeah, know that it's available. Like Rachel said, you can even, you know, whenever I have one-on-one clients, if a one-on-one client leaves my space, my humanity goes, oh shit. Oh, okay. Well, how am I gonna? And then I go, pretend his name's Joe. Joe's not your source, kiddo. I will literally say that. Source is your source. Let him go. Let him be done with his completion and let God provide for you through whatever it is. And last thing, there's just so much wisdom coming through right now, too. Like I just telling Rachel, I'm hearing people money as the source saying, hey, if I don't go into this work thing, I may not make the money. And yes, on one level, and it's not always mathematical when we're working with spirit. So it's like it doesn't. What if it can be through food or through shelter or through prayer or through energy healings or, whatever it is that gives you your needs. Like it's okay. It's okay if it's not always financial. You're wanting to be provided for in lots of different ways.
And in that, even if so you're praying, let's say for money, and somebody comes and they offer you, let's say, an energy healing, a free energy healing. And you're like, okay, that's nice, that's lovely, but I needed money. You don't know how that is then part of the unfoldment of what you're asking for.
That's it.
So if when you trust and you sink into that trust, and and this is, we still want to honor that human part because it is scary as hell
Oh
to
my
do
God,
that.
yeah.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah. But life has shown me time and time again, that you really are, when you open to it. And like you said, when you let God love you, how how they want to, through the beings who are going to give you these resources, you will be provided for. And it's such this miraculous feeling when you experience it, right? It's like you can't deny that you're cared for at that time.
And this one's going to sound a little weird, but when we're little, it's like we have the belief I'm resourced by my family. And yes, on one level you are. But if we were little and you're watching Rachel and Jamie activation, it's like I'm resourced by source through my family as one option. But if we were little and our family said to us, no, kid, that's not possible, or I don't have $100 to give you, or whatever, and we just went, oh, that channel isn't a willing participant of my source, and that's okay, but I'm going to keep it open because maybe the neighbor brings $100 or the teacher gives you the cookies at school that you wanted that dad said no to because he couldn't afford it. We don't know that. And so we look outside to be sourced. And again, it comes through that vehicle, right? But if we can just, I'm feeling also we'll do in the activation, if we can just kind of clear the slate of that, plug back in and come back to that mantra in these times of fear. I was so in shock and dysregulation earlier this week, when all of this was going on, that I don't know if I could have even accessed that mantra. But if we program this in right now, it could be more of a subconscious thing through whatever you go through in your life to really push us back into our true selves.
Yeah. And I think you bring up a really good point too, with the parents. And, when you're a child, you believe because it's very much your experience, you're resourced. It's out of your control. You're resourced how you're resourced by who you're resourced by. And I know for myself, because I grew up in a lot of lack, I then carried that. That was my deeply seated belief, that I then carried and put that on source, put that on life. That I'm not resourced the way that I am asking for, because I'm not the person who receives that, right? So I then had a lot of healing to do around lack and transmutation to do around lack. So I love the perspective shift of, okay, well, maybe this, and you can say parents, you can say job, you can say whatever. They did not resource me the way that I needed to be resourced, but that doesn't mean that I'm not able to be resourced. It's just that vessel wasn't able to provide that to me in the way that I was needing or wanting at that time.
Yeah. And it's not personal.
No.
No. Now, this might be the $1,000,000 question, Miss Rachel. So forgive me if you don't know the answer or if it's like too layered. What do you think the biggest insight, technique, healing, whatever may have been to shift from lack to I am resourced by source? Or was it layered?
It was layered. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was certainly layered. Another big download that I got, I know I've talked with you about this before, Jane, and I'm sure I mentioned it before. But right around the time where I was given or not the ultimatum, but I was invited to make the decision of, you do one-on-one or you try to reach as many people. I also got the download, you need to separate your business from money.
Yes.
And it felt so right. but at the same time, my humanness is like, that doesn't make any sense. Right. So I really had to tap into, again, there's a vessel through the work that I do, but there's a constant need to ask what wants to come through at the time. How does it want to come through at the time? Where am I supposed to place this? Like, what am I supposed to do with that? And that's one aspect. That's my business, or my work that I do here, is that, and, working with my own, the own parts of my consciousness that were deeply embedded with lack-based beliefs, and still calling in abundance and manifesting abundance. So it's like almost like two separate things.
Yeah.
But it was very layered. It was very, and I feel like the more you expand too, the more I've expanded, then the more it's like that kind of like new level, new devil sort of thing. Like, I'm constantly having to break out of the limitations that I placed on myself before. So
Yeah.
I'm constantly in that state of expansion where I never thought that I would. I did. That's not true. I believed, I had visions, I had feelings that I would be able to do what I'm doing now. I
Yeah.
didn't know what that looked like, but I'm like, there's something that I'm meant to be doing. So a decade ago, I had no idea what that looked like. And then, so throughout the journey, every time I'd reach a new breakthrough level and be able to experience something that felt more and more in alignment, then when I wanted to reach that next level, I then had all the barriers of, oh, this is it. This is all I can do. This is all that can be provided. And then be like, oh, no, actually, there is more. There is more expansion. So it's kind of like expanding to the point that you're comfortable with at that time, where you feel ready at that time. But that's no way a box that's going to box you in forever, because
Yeah.
when we continue to expand, there's likely going to come a point where you then have to push past that, where your previous expansion then becomes your current limitation, and you have to expand past it. So yeah, lots of layers.
Lots of like, I mean, thank you for sharing too. And that gives people hope to be like, hey, maybe there's a few things here, and I think, and you and I are huge on intention. It's like, let's program that intention today of, hey, I'm choosing, I'm resourced by source, and then what do I need to do? Shift, release, Reiki out of my field.
Yep. Because it will come up. It will come
Yeah.
up as you're going to think it, you're going to feel it. It's going to come up as the doubts, as the fears, as
Yes.
all of that.
Yes.
And that's what needs to be released, alchemized, held with compassion, shown a new way,
Yeah.
whatever needs to happen in that alchemy process.
Yeah. I'm excited about our activation. So much good stuff's gonna come through right now.
I know. All right. Do you feel ready for it?
I'm ready. I'm
Okay.
ready. Are you ready?
I'm ready. How are
Okay.
you feeling? Do you wanna go first? Do you want me to go first? What feels good for you?
I don't know. What do you feel, my love?
I'm feeling you first.
Okay,
In this
perfect.
one.
Let's do it.
All right. So if you are watching this and you're able to relax at this time, close your eyes. I invite you to do so, or at least just sink into a space where you can receive this energy activation today. Jamie and I are both channels and healers, so if you're open and receptive to receive this energy activation, please say yes in your mind's eye or aloud. And I just take a moment to connect energetically. Invite you to take a couple deep, grounding breaths. Calling all of your energy back to you. Really just sinking deeply into your own space, your own energy field for this activation. And I will pass this now to Jamie to guide us deeper into the session.
So just start to deepen that breath into your belly. Nice and big and slow. And extend the exhale nice and long. We're just going to call on the power of Source, Creator, using whatever word feels good to you. And either aloud or in our mind, we say, I connect to Source. Source, connect me to you. We can see the top of our head, our crown chakra, a beam of golden light from our energy body to Source. I have always been connected to Source. I just may not have experienced it as such. And that is okay. So just breathe and soften that body. As we bring in the medicine of compassion, we say to the little one inside our inner child, we say, I am so sorry. They didn't teach you. You were resourced by Source. I'm so sorry. You've had to live the pain of this. I'm so sorry. Part of you fears this isn't real. I'm so sorry you feel unworthy, unsafe, not deserving, or in doubt of your connection to Source. So just breathe into this. Let the compassion release the fear. And we're making a new choice together. As I always say, we are programming into our energetic GPS a brand new destination because we can. We have that power. And so we devotedly proclaim, I choose. It is okay to be resourced by Source, to have my needs met, to be cared for and loved in ways unimaginable, beyond the perception of my mind. And so we call on Holy Spirit and Jesus and any other guides that you resonate with to cleanse our mind of any of these errors of lack. Forgive us for believing those who taught us these innocent lies. Release it from my body, my mind, my energy field on all levels, known or unknown, and replace it with truth. Whisper into my consciousness the truth of my prosperity, of my provision, of my support, of my love, of my resource. And just breathe that in, relax your body, allow it to move through you. Could I open to the possibility I am worthy and deserving of resource? It's okay that it is safe. It's okay that I am loved. It's okay that I have. Beautiful. And now I'm inviting us to welcome both parts of ourselves. Could I open to letting the one who believes in non-resource be here for a moment? Holding hands with resourced you. So we just let both be here I allow myself to be unresourced. I allow myself to be resourced. And I let the other one be here as long as they need, holding them in compassion until they're ready to release. Good. So breathe, everybody. You guys are doing so good. And I want you to ask this part of you that has felt uncared for and unloved and unprovided for and unsafe and unresourced. We're just going to say to that one, sweet one, what do you need for this to release? And we're not forcing them to release it or making it release, but maybe they need acknowledgement. Maybe they need it to be honored. Maybe they need it to be felt. Maybe they need a therapist appointment to say, hey, this was really hard, or to write a letter. Maybe they need love, validation. So let's just ask without forcing them to do so, sweetie, what do you need to let the one in me who felt unresourced heal and release one day when they feel ready? And just listen. I acknowledge how hard this has been. Whatever it is that you're hearing, that you're getting this nudge towards, can you give that to them now? As best as you can in this moment. Good. Just breathe and relax the body. You made a new choice, offered little you inside love and honor. So I'm going to ask Source to download in all of us this higher, newer frequency for anyone who wishes to receive it, that they are resourced. And that whatever comes up, the shame, the guilt, the doubt, we begin to breathe through it and observe it instead of making it our truth. Because my love is one who has been in it. You are, we are, I am. You are loved, you are resourced, you are cared for. There is great love here for you. And can you know and open to it now, unconditionally? That's it. I am unconditionally resourced. And that is okay. Lastly, I just want you to see yourself releasing. Maybe it's a conscious choice, or maybe you see cords being cut or energy moving away of anywhere you've placed provision, resource, love in the world outside of yourself. And just let go of the need to find it there. We just call all that energy back from all of those places and plug straight into Source, and then let Source allow a beautiful art piece of willing participants. It will come through people. It will come through food. It will come through money. It will come through healings. But it will have a lightness to it. It will be a beautiful flow of energy, giving, receiving. Ah, beautiful. I feel such a relief in the field. As you take a few deep breaths into letting this high frequency integrate, I am moving the energy back to Rachel.
So now that you have been opened to be resourced, tune in with yourself and ask, intend, pray. What resources do you need right now? Would you like right now? And I invite you to go expand just a little bit past what seems believable. Go a little bit further. Allow yourself to really, truly ask for that which you want and need. Just take some time to do that now. And if you have not already, turn your palms up and just repeat the affirmation, I allow myself to receive this now. Doesn't have to be a sacrifice. There doesn't have to be a limitation. These are all human constructs that we place on things, and then they play out. There does not have to be. We're going to be activating 3 of your chakras now to deepen this. So first we are working with your crown chakra. It's already been opened. But specifically what we're doing with this crown chakra is we are asking that the energy pours into your crown through the top of your head, and it helps to align your perspective with this divine perspective. It clears out the restrictions and limitations that you might be placing upon yourself, consciously or unconsciously. If you had a fixed way of looking at something, it clears this out so that you can be open to all the beautiful possibilities that these resources want to come to you through. Telling your humanness, you don't have to figure this out. Let Source figure it out and give it to you. Whether that is through inspiration, downloads, divine action that you might not even realize is divine action at the time. Just opening up to this. And now we pull the energy down to your solar plexus, in the diaphragm area. And this is your sense of self. This is your identity here on the physical. So we're allowing this divine source light pouring down through your crown, and it's settling now in your solar plexus area. And so we are now aligning this area, your sense of self, with this new frequency that you're downloading. You can be the person who receives what you need and desire, who receives these resources. You can be the person who receives abundantly, freely, through joy, through ease, through grace. So if there's any false sense of self that the energy is residing within your solar plexus, if it is ready to be released, we ask that it is released through grace now, alchemized back into light. And there is alignment of your higher self, your source self, with your human self. And we are now pulling the energy down to the base of your spine, your root chakra, so that this grounds into the physical. We take it from spirit and the ethers into this physical plane. Also in your root, we are energetically clearing out any residual lack energy and fear energy that you're holding on to here. It is safe for you to receive. It is safe for you to trust this. It is safe for you to trust yourself, to trust God and yourself. Allowing yourself as much as you can to sink into this energy of being safe in this, being supported. And we flow the energy all the way down now through the base of your spine into Mother Earth as it grows energetic roots. All that was resourced just now, all that was given just now energetically, is being grounded into the physical in the most ideal, harmonious way. The beautiful thing is it will always be in mutual benefit of all. So as you are resourced, trust this. We're sending energy now to ground you back into your body as we prepare to move forth from this session. Allow yourself to take a couple of deep grounding breaths. Maybe even placing your hands upon your legs, just really allowing yourself to be centered, grounded as much as you can back in this moment. Any energy released, we send it to the light of source to be alchemized into grace. As we pull back from this activation and disconnect, so be it and so it is. Let's take a moment to sink into the feeling of gratitude for all that we know we just received. Sinking into gratitude for all the ways in which we will be resourced. You can be grateful and know that you're worthy of it at the same time. When you're ready, you can open your eyes and come back to the here and now. Thank you so much for tuning into this. We intend that you got exactly what you most needed from this today. Jamie and I are hosting 2 events, one on the 16th, one on the 19th. I'm actually flying into LA. This was planned far before everything happened, although now we realize it's very divine. So we're going to have a virtual event on Thursday, starting at 5 p.m. Pacific time, and it's all about prosperity and abundance. And then we're doing an in-person event in West Hollywood at the London in West Hollywood. It's going to be hands-on Reiki and a sound bath, and just whatever is most needed at that time is what we'll be bringing forth. If you were affected by the fires, we're going to put codes below. So we have codes that you can join these 100% free if you've been displaced, if you are a first responder. So we're going to put that below. And if you know anybody who is in one of these situations and can benefit from either one of these energies or both these energies, please share. As we ground in the light, we want to reach as many people who need it right now. So thank you, Jamie, for being here, and especially after everything that you've gone through in this past week. Do you have anything you want to add while we're still here?
Oh, thank you, sweetie. I would just love to, hold you guys too and be in community. We need that right now. And what a beautiful energy. And I'm already getting more downloads for our stuff. So I'm really excited to share and keep this going with everybody. Bless you, love you, thank you. And I really do hope to see you guys soon.
Yeah. So everything will be linked below. The links if you want to join, the links for the discount codes if you need those. So yeah, we'll talk with you later, and so much love and light.